Hi, back in Mythographic Paradise. It's Fabiana's book. Got mine at Walmart. It's within pennies of what it is on Amazon. I just happen to be there. So I want to show you a couple of things. This is just continued from last time. So still on the Marco Renoirs. Don't know if you can see that. This is number 5. Number 33, and number 45. You don't have to use these. You can use whatever you want. It's just what I happen to have that I was working with. Yeah, this is a pencil sharpener that I made sometime last year. It's in the videos, so it's just really held up well. All right, let's look at these little guys across the bottom. We're going to try to zoom in. Stop wiggling. Stop it. All right, right there. So what I do first is I take my lightest color and lay it down on there. Okay, so whatever your lightest shade is, just get a good coating on there. Then I'm going to take my middle shade and I'm going to come around and I'm going to more or less outline, but leave your corners. Leave them with some white in there because you want the page to still have some tooth so that when we go to the third color, it'll grab in there. So, I mean, you can hit it just enough that it's not white, but don't cover it. Now, if you need to move back on your pencil to make it not as much pressure, now is when I'm going to come in and start blending that. See how I'm just getting rid of that line? See that line? I'm just getting rid of that line. Just circling, just little circles. Just get rid of that. You have to work at it a little bit. And I'm going to keep coming in right over the top of that pink. Because the challenge on this page is to use as much of one color as I can. So I'm using other colors, and you'll see in a minute when I use this brown. I'm using other colors to help layer, to help get it the illusion that it's still all in reds. All right, so there's that one. Now I'm going to go to my darkest shade, which is actually a brown, okay? It is actually a shade of brown. It's a shade of brown that's a red base. Your colors are going to be different bases, like red or a blue base, sometimes more yellowy. And so I picked one that's more of a red cast to it than a blue cast. So just put that on some. And now I'm going to come back with my lightest color and blend the whole thing. And see how that brown has now gone to a brownish red? Just really blending this. And instead of a colorless blender, I use the lightest shade. I tried doing colorless blender on these roses, and you can kind of see how the black smeared through there. It's very easy to see the smear from where I am. I don't know if you can see it as well through the camera. All right, so there we go. And I can just keep blending at that. I'll come back and blend at these some more. All right, then to get something like this, I'm going to move over to Let's go down. I should have actually saved that one, but we're going to go to this one and we'll show how we did this. Okay, we'll do it right here. So what I actually did was skipped the pink, my lightest shade, and I went to my medium. I did this all in that color. And the thing about doing a page basically one color is you've got to find ways to use other colors in it so that it's not just a solid page. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I've added brown in some of this. I've added pink in some of it. And then when I go over it, it gives me another shade of the red. Now I could also mix brands of pencils. That would work too. Yes, very much. I have used some gel pen. You saw that in the last video. Alright, so there's that. Then I'm going to bump up just to here real quick. Light coat. But get it all on there. Alright, then I'm going to move to my darkest shade. I'm going to come across the bottom just a bit. I'm going to come across the top of these little elements because there might be a little bit of shadow on there. Then I'm going to move to the background. Just get it colored in. And that's how I did all this over here. And you can see it still needs more blending done. But again, I'm just trying to get all the top basic colors in, and then I'll go back in each section and do some blending. Alright, so there's that. And when I pull the camera out, at least where I'm looking, it does look like just another shade of red. It doesn't look like brown. Now I'm really bearing down and blending this out. You're going to almost always have a little bit of white peeking through if your paper is really textured. But see how that brown has really kind of just gone away now. And it's another shade of red. So we're going to zoom back out. There we go. See there now? So this one's a lot brighter than this one. That just shows you that I still did need to go back and do my blending over here. I just didn't want to get too far gone on that before I had you back to watch me doing some of it. Alright, if you want it left more light in the middle like this, you're going to do it just like we did this. Use that pink in there. So I'm going to use my lightest shade, which is a pink. I'm going to do the middle, and I'll come up and do the middle here. Okay. Come back with my second shade. And we finally got our back porch totally finished. You've seen the video probably. I posted it to YouTube. All the pavers are in place. All my hand-painted items are discounted. I've been selling them on Facebook and selling them in a salon in Dallas. lady contacted me there, and she's like, look, I know you can't do shows. Why don't you come set up down here? So a lot of stuff is down there, and she's been selling it for me. And so I feel like things are starting to move a little bit since we're not really having shows, and it's given me more time to come back and actually color and do some videos and do some relaxing. So yeah, I did have an order for 5 pavers for a friend of mine. She's giving them as Christmas gifts to her sisters, and then one to a friend of hers. So that's been fun. All right, back to my darkest shade. Again, in the corners, kind of recesses that across the top for shadow. I always enjoy doing corners. Sometimes you'll even see with a page that I'll do the corners of the page even a little bit darker, and it just draws the eye in. Okay, but doing the corners here, underneath for that shadow, because what's on top is bigger and would maybe leave a little bit of shadow. Then I'm going to come back with my lightest and blend the hound out of it. Just blend, blend, blend. All right, so that middle section's a little bit lighter, and what's around it is a little bit darker. Again, when you're doing one color pages, or as much as possible, I know I'm going to have green leaves, but when you're doing this, you've got to have a lot of lights and darks, back to my middle shade, to keep from having a totally flat looking page. Yeah. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do on that background, so I've left it alone. When in doubt, leave it till last. Because I know the leaves are going to be green. I know after doing this much that I'm going to stick with browns and reds for the bricks and all these pillars, because I like how it's working out. I'm just going to keep taking it section by section. If you'll do section by section, you won't get so overwhelmed with these really busy pages. Otherwise, they can be quite fussy and you might not finish. So just take it a bit at a time. Now I'm going to go back to the darkest shade. Mine's actually a brown. And it just pushes that to the back. I'll do a little bit across here. Just makes it look a little bit more rounded. And that'll blend in a little bit when I use the lighter of the 2 shades. And see, I can go darker in these areas here, and it really makes it pop a little bit more. Now just go over everything. Now if this were like yellow and yellow ochre, browns, I wouldn't be going all the way across like this. I would be doing each little section and being more fussy, because yellow streaks with that brown through it, I would totally lose the look I was after. But with this, it's pretty well staying put. All right, so hopefully that helped a little in explaining a little bit more about how to leave that center section. Same thing was done on here. But anyway, that's it for now. Trying to just get y'all some videos out and I will talk to you later. Enjoy. Bye.